Let's get start demo first. So this is same series of .NET Web API with generic repository unit of work series, and here today we'll learn one of the new pattern like specification pattern. So let's see how we can implement and what is that we achieve in this session. So simply see, I just create a one endpoint with the specification of this name. So when I passing the name, for example s, so when I pass s, so whatever contain of that s, they will returning a single record over here. And similar same specification pattern is different but using same method. Okay, so which will provide, like, see, I'm a specification pattern with this product id. So for example product id 9, and then get execute, data will be written, but I am not writing any another logic. It's the same method which is we define different specification. So based on this we can try to get the record easily. So that will achieve over here. Similar case, that was single record, single entity return, but here is a list. So for example I want to return a list, for example with the starting or just contain as. So if I as contain whatever the record we are containing, so they will returning based on this, like this specification. And the another one we have just using, see, order by, it is order by ascending. This will be returning if contain this name, contain this name with this, see, I just mentioned that get product by name order by, right? So this is order by specification with the name. So see, return the data also is a ascending order, but same things I want to return is a descending, means the different specification. Like for example yeah, for example this is order by descending. Yes, this is order by descending, but also we can use the paging mechanism also is here. Like for example what I have search over here, like s, right? So let me search s and let me pass it to paging number 1, and also we can use page size will be 5. And then once I execute, see, this time it is a descending order and you can get the data, right? So like this way actually we can achieve uh, with this specification pattern, right? So what is that we'll implement, don't worry about that. This is a very nice things and very great flexibility give us to remove the all the extendable repository method we can remove with using this pattern. So before that I'm especially recommend, because in last session we create one uh, expression method in generic repository, so that is important to uh, understand to a specification pattern. So let's, so this is one, and see, last session we actually created this expression in generic repository. So this will be help for understand, okay, what is the expression and how we can use in a specification pattern. So let's just start implementation. So I'm just taking same example web API series example, which also available in our GitHub link, so you can check out this one in my GitHub link. So first of all what I need to do, first of all actually I just have to create one specification interface. So how we can create and where I need to create, that is important also. And this also just now we can implement in web API, but yeah, in upcoming session we'll use clean architecture, and that also will be use this specification pattern generic repository int about everything we will implement that also. So let me start. First of all, I need to create a repositories, right? So I need to create a interface inside this repository. So all the repository over here, interface over here. So that's why I have to create that interface, I specification interface. So let me create this. Right click, add, go to not class, but yeah, you can choose interface over here. Let me name is specific this and add. Now you will see it is a public interface I specification. I will make it, it is a generic, right? So that need to make it a generic. And then once you make it generic, I need to create few method, okay, few property, actually few property and few method to handle this whatever specification will get from that UI or our business logic that can handle over here. So first one would be, you know, that criteria. So what is our criteria? Like if I want to filter by the name, or filter by the, you know, ID, or filter by whatever the criteria, so we can use this using this field property criteria. And that's why I recommend, actually I already explained what is the expression, how we can use, how we can implement. So in previous session you can check out that one. And now second, what I need to do, I will use one expression list of include. So suppose I have entity, there is a relationship entity as well. So if I want to you know, get the data based on this, you know, the relation entity like 1 2 3 or n level of entity, so that's why I have to use this includes method. Don't worry about that, everything I will show is in a practical how we can add and I can create and get the records using this all the method. And also I will provide another method, another property to use list of include. Like either you can use passing direct the lambda expression things directly using that entity and their relationship directly, or you can use directly pass that no string, like okay, I have product entity and product has a order relationship, so I can pass as a order as a string, so that also will work. So both way I'll just given options over here. And then the next things we will implement means over here define order by. Like suppose I want to result I want to get the data based on the order y, right? So that's why I just create this property. And one more property we can define over here, order by descending. Suppose some of the specification I required, like order by descending this property, and I want to get the record, so that's why I will use this. And also we can implement group by as well. So the last one is we can use also there the flexibility I will give give here, like we can group by as well. So whatever data specification we can want to, if I want to filter some criteria, if you want to add some relationship data, if I want to order by, if I want to order by, and also if I want to descending order by, and also they actually uh, separate by the group by. Okay, so those are things we have to declare first in this specification. Then one more thing actually we have to record for the future perspective, like pagination, right? Because that is also important. So that also can we can specify as a pagination. So it's simple, what I can do simply, I will just use this three property as well so that we can handle the pagination. So what is that page size, page number, uh, we can pass it over. What is the page size actually? So what is the page size we want, I can as a take parameter, and whatever that, you know, whatever the page number, so we can use that skip one. And what is that, you know, that is paging enable. So if I want to page paging enable, so I will pass it as true. If it is not required, so I will pass it to false. So that one, that means the paging things will not work based on this condition. So these are property we have to define first in a specification. Then what I need to do, I need to create uh, one base specification class that is called as an abstract class. We have to create that base specification class. So that also I have to create in the specification folder. So let me create a specification folder here. Right click on that, add, create a folder, is specification. So let me create that specification. Also let me rename and capital letter. So inside this specification I have to create, you know, one base class, base specification class. So let me call that base specification class over here .cs, and once it is created, make it this class is abstract so that I can use this one for in our whatever we are I want. So let me create a generic method, a generic class for first, and then what I will do, I have to inherit whatever I specific class I just create a inherit I just created, right? For the repository I just created this what is called IS specification interface. So let me inherit over here and pass it to that generic type, and also I need to implement one by one over here, right? So let me implement one by one. Instead of direct implementation, I will use I will do one by one. So first of all, what I will do, I'll just create a base constructor of this abstract class, and here I will assign and pass that criteria first over here. So whatever criteria I have to do, I will take it as a this base specific class to constructor, so base class, and then finally I will assign over here. Let me assign to here. So in this here I have that criteria. Let me create that criteria field over here first. So let me create this. Once I create this, let me assign to criteria like this way, criteria dot criteria. So this is done. Then what need to do next? Next I have to implement others method, like there's a see many methods I have to do implement over here, right? So let me do one by one, and also we have to record one base one default constructor also we have to specify over here. So let me create that constructor again, ctur, and this base constructor also we record, because this abstract class we have to use some other place where I will to specify. And then what I need to do, I need to specify that includes parameter which is we implement over here, right? So see what I am trying to do, just include and then just create a instance of that expression as a list and just add it over here. Similar, I need to add all the property which is we have to implement over here. So let me add one by one and I'll explain. See, that include also we define in a signature, so that also I just specify over here. Then order by and order by descending and group by, right? So those are things we have set. Also see, this is important, right? Whatever field whatever property we declare something some way all the get, and there's a no set, right? Because all everything we have to specify, okay, this not to set, right? Only just get it. So that is done. Then finally those three parameter those three variable as well. So these are this take, skip and specification also we have to implement here. And then now is a final picture over here. So once you declare the very method over here means that property, then I have to implement that includes method, right? Includes and apply paging and whatever things do I have to put some logic, some method I need to expose over here. So let me create first that apply method. Let me create first that include method. So what I'm trying to do, I just create a add include method over here and pass it to that include expression. And what I'm trying to do, whatever include expression we are getting over here, so that I will add in this property, right? So in this property we will to add using this add method. So this method actually call from that business rules, business logic, and they will pass to expression that that will add over here simply. So that's why we have defined all the property over here. Similar, I need to use that other include method, which will pass the string, and I will add to this string list of a string method over here. And then don't worry about that, is if it is not clear as of now, so I will, when we'll use, definitely that will clear the concept. And then once you include, then I will use that designation concept as well. So let me create a one virtual method, apply a paging and pass it to skip and take, and assign this variable. And also by default, see, once somebody apply this, so it should be automatically true. That means pagination is allowed to true. Okay, otherwise it will false. Similar, I will add another method to order by. So whatever expression that will passing over here, will add it to our order by property, so that based on this we can just set our order by ascending or descending. And then also we will use that another one, descending, apply by ascending. It is similar by this order by. Okay, and finally the last one would be group by. So this is also is a group by method. We get that expression and we use assign to our group by property. So that is done, implementation is done, the base specification. Now what need to do next? Next I have to create a one evaluation specification, evaluator. So how we can create and where we have to create? Okay, so let me uh, go to, so before that what I will do, I think we can use it, right? So let me create now as a method, go to your I repository and let me expose those method. So I have to add over here this method. So this is just I have to create one method which is returning enumerable list and get all async and specify this specification. And let me create another one which is called single entity. So this is another method. Okay, another signature actually, so which is actually return the signal single. And here, and upcoming session will use that pagination concept as well. But yeah, for the digestion, first I'll just show you the simple example. So once it's done, let me go to the implementation of this signature, go to that repository, and let me implement this, or let me implement one by one. Okay, if you go down, somehow it should be add in between. Okay, let me undo, because there's a many method over here. So what I will do, I will just add to end, so that you can see. First off, what I need to do, public async and task, then I enumerable, then t, and then that method. So what is our method name? Get. Let me copy same method, otherwise it won't work. So go back here and bring the name, and here what I need to do, I can pass it to whatever parameter. So my parameter would be I specification, and here I need to implementation. And now what I need to do, I need to implement something, right? So whatever expression I just get it from that I specification method, means parameter, so I need to uh, you know manipulate one by one. So that part I need to implement. Okay, so what I will do, I have to create one method actually. So let me create one class which should be under inside the data. Okay, and that name would be right click class, add is a specification evaluator and .cs file. And once you created this, what I will do, just pass it to entity, t entity, and here I can stick for this as a where t entity, it should be class, or ideally it should be use your base entity. Okay, but as of now I don't have a base entity, I don't create it, but yeah, you can just specify only just base entity, so that whenever we use they will accept only just base entity, otherwise it will give the error, right? So for that perspective we can use it. And here what I will do, I'll just create a one public static method, and it should be written iQueryable, and pass it to that t entity, and the entity, and then make sure the get entity's name, get query, and pass it to again iQueryable entity, queryable as a input query, input query, and then I have to pass the second parameter is our specification one, right? So let me pass, or let me bring that parameter in next line so that you can easily see that. So this is one. Okay, once passing the parameter, okay, let me close, let me bring that next line, and here let me write it, yes. So in here what I will do, I have to do some implementation. So let me start that. So first of all I will just create a query, and that query would be as a whatever input query, not is I as a queryable, remove that. So first you have to set that query whatever input you are trying to get. So let me store over here so that we can manipulate whatever as per our requirements. So first condition is like, see, whatever specification we are getting is the criteria not null, then what I'm trying to do, whatever criteria they pass, they will just trying to filter whatever query and then use that filter, so that it will filter whatever criteria. This is one condition. And then what I will do next, whatever include, right? So suppose there is a specification, another one we can pass, user can pass, that includes whatever relationship entity. So if I getting this, so also we will include in this aggregate using that aggregate method, and we can add that whatever relationship entity in this query. This is second method. And now third one also, if somebody pass as a the string relationship entity, so that also we can just doing filter by this specification include as a string, so that also we can add over here as a query. That is third condition. Now fourth condition is order y, right? Because somebody can send as a order y, so I can use specification order y. If not null, then what I will do, whatever specification I'm getting, so order y, query dot order y, and then filter over the query. And similar, what I can do, I can do as a descending as well. So here I will use that if and else, because if we trying to order y only just one condition, right? If I want to order y, so only just I can order y. If I want to descending order y, so I can use only descend. That's why I using if else condition. And here very simple condition, whatever we are getting, so just trying to filter and just filter the query. That is done. And then finally the group by. So if somebody it is not null as a group by, so again what we're trying to do, we're trying to group by that one. Okay, and then finally the last one we trying to do over here as a pagination. If it is pagination enabled, so then we trying to filter whatever page size and page number. Based on this we can filter and returning this query. So this query will be written as a queryable, iQueryable. So this is actually implementation we required over here, and this query this query we will use in our implementation, repository implementation over there, right? So go back to here, and what I will do over here, I will simply create one more method as a private method here, and in this private method what I will do is simply a queryable, and I'll just pass it to entity, whatever our entity, and apply. We will create a one method, apply specification, apply specification for list. Okay, and then pass it to your I specification over here, and then close bracket, and we have to call that specification evaluator class over here. So simply you can just return an specification evaluator over here, and you can just pass your entity, and this entity we can get this static method get query, and here see there's a two things you can pass as an input query as well as specification, right? So what is our input query? My input query is storing here db db set dot as a queryable. So here as queryable, right? So here my method this my entity, as well as I can pass that specification from this parameter. So that is done, and once it's done, what I will do, I can call this method to directly over here, return specification class, and just pass it to your specification. That is done, right? So this is done for for that list of entity, but actually I just create one more method, right, for that single entity as well, which is also expect the specification. So that also let me implement. Okay, that is also similar implementation we have to do. First let me create that method over here and close it. Once you create the method, we need to implement, right? So same things we can implement like that, and what I need to do, you can just first and default, because it's a single result, right? So you can just filter over here as a single result. Okay, so it is giving some error. So what is that error? Actually we are returning some asynchronous method. So what I can do, simply I can just pass it to await. So once you're done, so see that enumerable and single entity also done, right? And this is also fine, right? Single apply section, actually we can remove that for list, but yeah, that is fine because it is a returning list, but either we can filtration over here. So both it will work. So whatever naming convention we can use it over here, but yeah, that is done, that is done. So now start for that calling this method, right? To method. So what I will do, I will just I have to just call the endpoint, right? So let me create a one endpoint, create a new controller, call it to API controller, and name it to specification pattern controller. Specification pattern controller, right? So yeah, so in here I already explained, like actually in my Here I am using unit of work, so what I need to do, simply I need to call that, and using that I unit of work over here, and bring that assigning over here. So that is done. Now I have to create a method endpoint, right? So let me create one endpoint here. So what I'm trying to do, I just create a one method, a get method here, product by name specification, right? So it is very simple. Again, just input as a, I will take as an input name, okay, and be using that I repository and product, and then create a project repository. And then what I will do, I have to create this, specification, right? So how we can create that specification, go to again go to again that specification folder. Here I will create that specification, right? So go to that product by name, right? So let me create a one class, specification class. So let me create a name, call it to whatever is their name, product by name specification, right? Specification. Let me create over here, and what I will do here, I'll just call that base specification which we have to create it, right? Base specification. And here I will just pass whatever entity, right? Our entity name is product, and let me bring the namespace of product. I guess it is not a right name, product. This is the not this name. So this is that name web entity, and get the product. And here what I will do, I'll just call create a constructor, and inside this constructor I'll need to call that base parameter, right? And before that we have to pass over here as a string name. So let me pass it to name like as a product name, and here I need to call that base constructor. And this base constructor, actually, see, there's a to overload method. We can pass the specification of product criteria, right? So this is that criteria actually we have defined over here, right? Go to that specification. So this is base parameter constructor, and this is the base specification. Here I'm just passing the criteria, right? So that's why I have created over here, said whatever we are getting that a name or input field, I can set over here. So how we can set over here, simply you can just create a lambda expression, and then x dot whatever entity you are trying to use. So whatever entity, so those are entity, property, field, navigation, everything you will get from here, right? So what I need to do over here, I need to record the product name dot contain, and here I will pass that product name whatever I'm getting from input. Let me bring that next line so that you can see, and let me close that. So criteria is set, right? And go back to your controller, and here just pass to your specification name with passing that input, whatever input you are getting from your API. And that simply you have to pass call to your repository and get this method. And this method, see, this method actually expect this I specification. So you can just pass your specification, and you will get the result, right? Similar I will call that another one. Similar, I'll just implement everything first, then I will show the run the application. So again I will call that another one which is returning get product by ID specification. So here again what I need to do, see, again I have a ID, okay, and go to here, let me create another specification. So let me create that one class, and this should be product by ID specification. specification, right? So let me add, and similar again, what you need to do, uh, base specification, add your product and bring the namespace, and then finally again just create a constructor and call that base constructor, and before that you have to pass that id as an integer, which is coming from that endpoint. And then what I will do, I will call base constructor, and again using the lambda expression and pass it your criteria. So here I will just use product id, or yes, product id equal to your id, right? So that if criteria we will set, they will call to over here, and same specification I can call in your method, and then you can call it to here. So see, same method but different specification, I just pass it and I can reuse it, right? So that's why we can avoiding extendable repository methods. That is actually the great benefit of this specification pattern. That's why I just create this session. And just for example, let me show you one more details. If you go to that repository, see I repository, right? So there's a few repository we can create it, right? So see, I just create a generic repository for the get all, get id, but it is specific for only just id, right? We can't manipulate, we can't get anything. Then if I required another specification, what I can do, I have to create another method, and based on this I can just get the result, right? So that's why it is a problem, this a repository pattern. There's a one problem here. That's why I specification pattern comes in the pictures, and they are given the flexibility, whatever specification you have, you can just pass it to and get that result, right? So we can remove that extendable method again and again, many method we can remove, right? So that was the explanation. Okay, so see, that is done, and let me run. Let's see first two method how is working. Okay, let me go to specification. Yeah, this is the specification controller, and here get product by the name. Okay, so let me pass the name. For example, what is that containing, might be f, and see, it is returning f and the single record, as well as if you trying to a, so it should be returning the a records, right, which is containing here, and first record also. I can show you the query, right? uh, this is that query. Let me show you the console, right? See, also here they are just trying to select product, and whatever the product name, I can pass it to over here, and order wise select one, and offset, whatever offset by default, whatever offset they can take it. But yeah, it is returning only one record, right? Because also is a queryable query, so that's why it's filtering on the server side, not in our here uh, client side, right? So that is fine. Now go to id number 2. Okay, so let me find, see, same query, find by id, find my method, same id, but what I will do, I will just different specification, but I can get the result with the different specification. So that is a flexibility actually give us that specification method. So let me implement that result one also, because see, I just implement only find async, but there is a get all async method as well, right? So let me implement that one also. So similar I will implement for that. Let me create another endpoint here, get product by name, order by specification, right? So I will just using here, I will just create a one specification to get all method where we'll returning all the data with this uh, order by product name, right? So that I will just create it. So how we can create it, let me go to specification folder again, and here let me create a class. The name should be the name order by specification. Okay, so let me create this, and also similar what I need to do, let me call that base specification here, pass it to whatever your entity. So my entity is this, and then create a constructor and pass it to here. If you pass any parameter, so pass it to here, like I'm passing the name, so passing the name, and here calling the base constructor. And calling the base constructor, you can just pass to pass that filter x dot product name dot contain, and passing your name, and then close it, and also bring back to the new line. So this is done, and now see, now this is done for that here, right? So how we can apply that that order by, right? So see, this is that criteria you have set, but if you want to something, so if you go to back to specification class, see, there's a many method we have to create it, right? Like apply paging, add include, and add apply order by, descending. So that method we can use it here. So how we can do that? Suppose I want to apply order by, so apply order by, see this method appearing over here, apply order by, and here there again lambda expression which you want to order by. So I want to order by whatever name you want, but I just specify product name I want to order by, so I can apply over here. Similar, I can use many things over here, like see, if I want to pagination, so I can use that pagination as well. For example, whatever, actually just then pagination also you have to just take the input from here, then you can pass, but I'll just show you the demo. So that's why you can aware like how we can use other method, right? So you can apply that pagination as well here, and also you can apply that include method, right? So what is that name? Include, let me get back the method. Yeah, add include, right? So add include, and here again you can just include whatever your relationship property, right? X dot c is a relation property I have on orders, right? So that I can include, and I can get the data based on the product and allow along with orders, like that navigation property. So like this way I can edit our specification, whatever actually our specification we can use, and we can take it over here. So that is just for example. Let me close, stop this application, and let me copy this, go back to your controller and pass it to here, and pass the name, and just pass use that get all method, and this get all pass the specification, and you will get that result, right? Similar, I need to create for that descending order, right? So let me show you again. So see, this is another method, get product by the name, order by descending, right? So how we can create that descending one? So again, what I can do, go back to specification folder, let me create that descending specification, descending, right? And specification, this is a prefix, actually we can add it over here. So let me add base specification, and here copy paste, and then what I need to do, I just create a constructor similar what we have done so far, and also we can take as a string name, product name, and call it to base constructor, call it to base, and let me base over here, and pass use that lambda expression x dot product name dot contain, and then name, that's it. And finally I have to apply descending order here, right? So how we can do that? Again, apply order by descending. Similar, I can do that over here. Which property I want to descending? I want to descending by the like product name or ID, whatever name, you can just pass it. But yeah, if you specify over here, so please make sure like you're doing same, right? Okay, so this is done. Similar, I need to copy here and pass it to here, and then can remove that. I'll just create one more which is actually filtering by the pagination as well. So let me copy this, and yes, so product by name, order by descending, or order by ascending, along with pagination. Okay, order by pagination specification. Okay, and what I will do, just change it to name, order by pagination. Okay, so that I will use now I will use this. Okay, let me remove from here because I don't use the pagination here, but yeah, for the next specification I will use that page number and product number. So here what I will do, I'll just create this another specification. For example, copy paste, let me rename to here, order by pagination specification. Okay, and here what I will do, that also should be name should be changed. So let me copy this name and change it to over here, and now pass it to integer page number and integer page size. And then what I will do, see, the name also we are containing over here, that is fine, will filtering, but here will apply order by, and one more thing will apply pagination, right? So apply paging, and here what I will do, simply I need to pass page number and page size. See, like this way I can create this specification and go to our controller. Where is my controller? Specification controller, and change it to this and pass it to your page number and page size. That's it. Now see, our specification ready for this three specification I have ready for that get all method with one method, but three specification many specification I can create it as per our requirement, right? So let me run and see in actions. So go to that, see, this two we have tested, but here for that now get by all. So try to search A. Once you A, see, there is a, it is a order Y, right? So see, order Y we are getting to A, F, G, R, W, right? So this is order Y because we put some order Y, I guess, on the product name, so that's why order Y the name. And similar descending, right? So I put A. Once I A, so see, first is W, then R, then G, then F. So this is a descending, we put some descending order, right? So that's why given that descending order. And similar same method, but I want to use search as well as pagination, right? So A and pagination I want to know first page, and page size would be 3. So it will return only that 3 record with this ascending order as well as that filter, right? So this is actually flexibility give us to that uh, specification pattern. So let me debug actually one, so that you can aware, okay, how's the flowing is working, right? So let me debugger here, then debug to go to that here, and debug to here as well in a repository, and it is calling to this. So debug here, and finally go to that specification class, and finally debug here, so that you can aware like, okay, how's working, flow is working, right? So before closing this session I'll show you that flow. So let me execute So see, first it will go to controller and it will get that paging number and search and whatever things. Then once you continue, it will go to your repository, and repository call that apply specification method. So this will call over here, and then finally call to this specification evaluator. So if you go to over here, now see here whatever specification it will check, it will try to filter, and whatever the filter is there, they will try to filter, and based on this it will prepare that query. See, whatever section is enabled, it will prepare the query, and this query return the result over here based on this evaluator, and they pass it to our method, and finally go back to here. If you see, you will get that result over here, this 3 record over there, right? So like this way you can easily implement uh, your specification pattern, right? So that's it for this session, and the next session actually will implement like see, this is a pagination be using, but if you are trying to use pagination, so definitely be required some total count, what the page size, what is the total size, or next page is enable or previous page is an enable, as like be done actually previously, right? So that also will implement in next session, so that you can aware like, okay, if we're trying to using pagination concept, so the pagination data also should be written, right? So that will implement next session. So till now, that's it for this session. Have a nice day, and don't forget to like, subscribe and share.